Hello! We're going to pretend that I didn't forget to film an intro for this video this morning before I left, and neglect to bring my camera with me, and chicken out on filming an intro in the car with my cell phone because there were other people in the parking lot. Anyway, come with me to Smithfield Vintage Market. Well, it is warm. Oh, I have had a wonderful time. I will definitely be coming back. This was really great. I said earlier that it was close to me, and by that I mean within a 3-hour drive. I grew up in Iowa, so I still have that Midwest mentality of anything less than 3 hours is just a bit of a drive. It's very warm. I'm ready to be out of the sun and get some water. I have water here, so I'll be hydrating and driving home. And then I can show you what I got. I got a lot of stuff. So I have been going through mentally and, you know, taking inventory of my vintage items, and especially now my vintage accessories, because I am working on the clothes that I can make, and as I'm kind of putting together all of the colors, I'm realizing I don't have like hats and shoes and purses that go with some of my wardrobe. I have plenty of black hats, plenty of black purses, well, a few black purses, enough to cover most occasions. But I didn't have any brown purses, so that's one of the things I was looking for today. I was also looking for brown hats, didn't find any, but I did get this really adorable clutch purse that has an optional handle. I love that. That's such a cool detail. Just folds inside if you don't want to use it. This was labeled 1950s, which looks right to me. I don't have a very practiced eye when it comes to identifying the decades of accessories. I've gotten pretty good at the clothing lines, figuring out decade by decade what the silhouettes were doing. So I'm kind of on the learning journey of figuring out hats and purses. I also found at the same booth these adorable rain bonnets, which I've been thinking about the fact that I'm going to need these or something like it. I honestly did not think I would be able to find actual vintage rain bonnets. I thought I was going to have to like come up with a reproduction, but they've got, you know, the original little label in there, and oh my gosh. And they have real snaps. Oh, I love it. I remember in my childhood watching the little ladies after church putting on their rain bonnets to go home without messing up their hair. And this is great, because it's definitely going to rain in my year of dressing vintage, and I'm going to need something to protect my hair, because I do plan on setting my hair with my vintage hair clips most days, so I want to be prepared. And then after I'd found that first brown purse, I also found this brown purse. I think this one reads more 40s, which is what I'm going to mostly be wearing. And I believe this is snakeskin. It's in really good condition, and it's really pretty. The same seller also had a pair of shoes that matched, but they were not my size, and they were also wedge heels, and no, I don't need that. There's the inside of the purse. I might be able to fit my camera in this purse, which would be amazing. I know my phone fits. My phone fits in both purses, which is exciting. My phone does not fit in all of my vintage purses. Then I found jewelry. Quite a few stalls had jewelry, as you can imagine. This seller, there's her storefront name. She was selling both actual vintage earrings. I got 2 pairs. These will go great with all of my teal, and it's always good to have neutrals. I have a lot of gold jewelry, I don't have a lot of silver, so figured silver would be good. And then also, she had several pairs of earrings that she had made from vintage buttons. I love these. I don't know if you can tell, but they're like a deep, like lapis blue color. Love it. And then she also makes cherries. I love them so much, and they look like they're heavy, but they're really light, so they will not be hard to wear. And I got them with gold findings. She had both gold and silver, but I tend to wear more gold. And then there was a booth that had a lot of vintage jewelry, and I got several brooches, starting with this beautiful dragonfly. I love dragonflies, they're my favorite insect. And then this butterfly, which is just too beautiful. I also got this scarf pin or scarf clip, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to wear that. And this is a sweater clip, so you can keep your cardigan held together. And this cameo locket. I have several cameos in my collection, but I did not have a cameo locket, so now I have one. These earrings, which were just too much, and I couldn't pass them up. They're so long. I love it. Pair of birds brooch. I really love brooches, and I want to start wearing them more. I have quite a collection. This swan, and this is a pendant. And that same booth also had this compact, I guess. I'm not sure what its original purpose was. I think I could put some folded dollar bills in it. It's too narrow to be a cigarette case. Vintage hat pin. I love hat pins. Can always use more. Okay, that's all the jewelry. But then there was a booth that had a lot of jewelry, but I got really, really excited about the vintage compacts. They had several, and I had to make some really hard decisions. I bought two. This one still has powder inside. Love Pat Cream Beige from Revlon. No idea how old that is. It might be like 70s, but it's beautiful and I will use it. I will use the compact. I don't know if I'll use the powder, but this one, same booth. The seller thought was probably 40s, maybe earlier. I love this one so much. I cannot describe to you. This is velvet, by the way. I can't handle it. Here's the powder. She gave me a discount because the mirror needs to be glued back in place. It's got a little paper cover, a little screen to separate the powder from the mirror. The powder is, there's a little bit left, but it's mostly gone. A little square powder puff. So adorable. And then this, so it was sitting in the sun and whatever was inside melted. Anyway, it's just so cool and so pretty and so special. I would like to start collecting vintage compacts because I love them so much. I just think they're so cool. Okay, moving on to sewing notions. One lady had just baskets of vintage notions and very reasonably priced. I got this adorable little sewing kit. It's empty, unfortunately, but I can fill it with whatever I want. And I'm going to make a little vintage sewing kit and keep it in my vintage purse. Also in the same basket were these beautiful buttons. Oh, aren't they pretty? I love them. And then this, cover your own buckle. How fun is that? Oh, love it. And then I also just picked up some seam tape, hem tape from the same lady. But she also had this little guy. How fun is that? And I have honestly been needing something exactly like this for quite some time because I tend to sit on the couch and sew while watching TV, and I don't have a spot to put my thimble or my scissors, but now I do. I mean, it came with this. I think this is the buttonhole scissors. And then I can put my thimble right there, and there's a little pin cushion. And spots for spools of thread and vintage spools of thread. That just came with it, so pretty cool. I've been having so much fun. Last thing is this vintage sewing basket. And it came with all the stuff inside, so I'm going to switch my camera view to show you what's inside. Tray full of random stuff. We've got a little sewing kit, safety pins, some buttons, a few needles, some sewing machine needles. Don't know how old those are. Tailor's chalk. That's always useful. More buttons. Oh, another tailor's chalk. Refill. I'm not really sure what these are, but I could put needles in them, certainly. It's very hard to read. One string of numbers, one each. February 1967. What are these? What did they used to hold? Very confused. Some elastic. I have no idea what this thing is. If anybody knows, please tell me in the comments. Here is a gripper snap fastener. So if I ever find the snaps that this fastens, I don't know. Zipper, more buttons, tiny screwdriver, more elastic, belt buckle. I don't know what this is. These might be the snaps that go with this. I'll have to do some research. Tiny crochet hook. What on earth is this? I didn't see this before. I don't know what it is. Some very rusted I don't know what that is. So lots of random stuff. Tray number 2. This appears to be sewing machine parts, maybe. Hooks and eyes, more elastic, another buckle. This one's substantial. And in the bottom, we've got a couple of vintage zippers, card of buttons, a tracing kit, a vest pattern. Oh, this I'm really excited about. A dressmaker guide. Use it for spacing and marking tucks, scallops, buttons, buttonholes, braids, and all kinds of trimming details. I will use this for sure. Buckle, a necklace, and more tracing paper. Some rickrack, a point turner. So I think this will become my sewing kit that sits next to me when I sew at the couch, along with my cute little bird. Oh, and the same seller who sold me this also had these vintage collar and a pair of cuffs. Oh, these are cuffs. I thought this was the collar, but these are the cuffs. Okay, those are cute. Oh my goodness, look at this collar. I think these are real mother of pearl buttons. They are heavy and cold to the touch, so they are not plastic. And this is so pretty. It's got little buttonholes. So I am going to need to make a dress that this will fit into, because how adorable is that? Okay, well that was my haul. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, feel free to give me a like, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. And we'll be back to your regularly scheduled sewing vlogs very soon. Bye!